I'm delighted to have Ruby Deol with us today to talk about respect. And she'll introduce herself and we'll go from there. Over to you, Ruby.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I appreciate it. I'm Ruby Deol. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Alert Enterprise, and Alert Enterprise is a security software that bridges the gap between logical and physical security. And Bobby, I first of all, I admire and appreciate you for having me on this subject, respect, which is in my opinion, it's a very wide subject itself, right? I think people can, if they choose to, they can write even, or maybe there are some just books on just respect only, right? Because it's, in my opinion, it's a foundation. Respect is a foundation for creating well-balanced, rich company cultures. And respect, in my opinion, plays a pivotal role in enriching personal and professional relationships. So when we just take a look at if you say that what respect means in the dictionary, it's of course we always talk about that having a regard for another person, having a kind of respecting their opinions. But on when we talk about in company cultures, then the role is such widely spread into all the values that it's kind of incorporated in all the value systems that we create for company cultures, or even in our personal relationships, because if we can only build those value systems if we have a respect as a core foundation. When we are talking about teamwork, when we talk about having innovation as a value, or any values that we have, companies have a respect for the individual or integrity. So in all, it plays a big role, right? When you are genuinely respecting someone, you automatically listen to them, refraining from any judgments or assumptions, right? When you and it also allows, like, respect kind of recognizes that everyone is unique and has different perspectives, but we as an individual have to respect that perspective. But that will only happen if the core respect is there, right? Similarly, respect is a key for building strong, healthy relationships, fostering trust, and like, you will only feel safe with somebody, or express yourself if you are feeling that you are respecting, and or the person is respecting you, right? And when it comes to gratitude, again, very similar, right? You will have a gratitude for towards someone if your core is that you're respecting someone. So in my opinion, it plays a very kind of important role in our personal and in our corporate lives.
Yeah, thank you, Ruby. So well said. I, of course, naturally can't agree with you more. It's funny, just yesterday I was at an event and somebody said, respect, that's it. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, because it's such a fundamental aspect. And
Yes,
by the way, yeah, just to answer your question, I am working on a book. This is research towards the book that all these interviews I'm doing will feed into the book.
wonderful.
Yeah, and I think, just in the day and age we're in, leading with respect is, in my view, the number one characteristic for a
Yes,
leader. And all those other pieces you named, I love that you brought in gratitude. It really relates to all of that, right?
yes,
It's so fundamental that I often say that we want trust in working relationships or any relationship, but even before trust, we need respect.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes,
and in this age of AI and everything, it's the human to human connection
yes,
where we make the difference.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we don't have that, we have nothing. Yeah.
True, very true.
So, Ruby, with your experience as a COO and all the experiences you've had, and by the way, for everybody in the audience, Ruby is based in the Bay Area, but the company has operations, I believe, all over, but definitely in India.
Yes.
Let's blend sort of that US India aspect to this as well. And you can, bring that in at any point. But let's next go to, how do you know when respect does exist with others, right? When you're interacting with people, how do you feel respected? What are some ways that that shows up?
Yes, I mean, it's a in my, again, I mean, it's my own opinion, right? And my own observations. When the respect is there, magic starts happening, right? So in building company cultures, as either I have seen it like my superiors done that, or the company CEOs done that, or I have done it personally. When you are respecting people in your organization, you are trusting them, you are allowing them, with that trust you are allowing them to do things that you want them to get done for the organization, right? Or for that team or for that department. When the respect is not there, when you are not respecting as their senior, when you are not respecting them, they are always working with in fear, right? So fear causes, as we all know, fear causes lots of issues, which when the fear is gone, then people flourish. People are coming up with their ideas, people are coming with the new innovations, people are willing to go above and beyond their call of duty. They are enjoying working, then the work is not a work becomes a passion. On the other hand, when that respect is not there, fear plays a big role. People are not sure if you trust them. People are not sure if their job is valued. People are not sure what role they play is an important role or not. So it on the other side, it starts going the drain, and then you're hurting your own culture. But when as an individual, when you are treating people equal, when you have that gratitude in your heart for whatever they are doing, you are appreciating them every day, you are feeling that they are more important than you in the company, when you feel and you trust them that they are the key people that are going to take the company to the next levels, then in my opinion, with that respect, with that dignity that you're giving it to the others, they give it back to you, and it's this everybody is enjoying, and it's the magic. It's just then the journey becomes just so enjoyable, and everybody's passionate. So, but on the other hand, when it's not there, and when it's just people are just showing, as we you had a little bit like India and the US differences. So what in our culture, I was born and brought up in India. And when I was a little kid, or even in schools, the teachers, we were kind of like given that not respect for the individual, but respect for the elders, right? I mean, that was the saying, very common in India, respect for the elders. So that means that whosoever is elder than you, you have to give that respect to them. It's not bad to respect people, but the respect, in my opinion is not given, it's earned, right? So when the earned respect is there, that makes, as I talked about, the magic happen. When the respect is just given because you're elder than me, because you are a senior than me, you have a better title than me, or you have a better status than me, then it's not fun. It's just that it's just you're doing it as you are doing your job, or it's your duty to respect somebody. So that's the difference in
Ruby, I love that you brought up the word magic. It's, when you're talking about fear, I'm so glad you went there. There are a couple of four-letter words that in corporate world globally we
yeah,
don't use. I think the other F word is used a lot more than actually saying, yes, there's fear present and it
yes,
has an impact on the business. The other one, and by the way, let me define fear. I didn't make this up. I forget where I heard it. But the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real.
yes.
So when we don't take time to check our assumptions and we don't create safe space for people to speak and connect authentically,
Mhm.
that's where it's easy to make up stories and go into fear.
Yes.
The other four-letter word that you're not naming, but when you say gratitude, I think you mean is connected with the other four-letter word, which is love.
Hmm.
Another word that we almost never use in the workspace.
Yes.
But I'm so glad that I was at a talk by Rod Sisodia, a professor who is one of the original founders of the conscious capitalism movement.
Hmm.
He gave a keynote. The entire keynote was about how the purpose of business is love.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'd love to hear
So
your
beautiful.
thoughts on fear versus love, and then let's go on from there.
Yes. So a love and fear, I mean, of course, on the opposite angles. Both are like either with love you can achieve a lot, right? So that in even in company cultures, I have seen that when um, you love your people that you work with, right? You acknowledge that how important they are to you. It's not like you can only love your kids. You love your coworkers. You love your all the subordinates that work and they came from the universities and this is their sometimes this is their first job. So the love and attention that you're giving it to them, again, that flourishes the company cultures along with that also gives them a kind of a sense of security, right? So you are paying attention to them, you are doing one-on-ones with them, you even at sitting as a CEO level, you dig deep into understanding your employees, not because of that you only want to know what they do, but who they are individually, right?
Yeah.
That's
That,
also plays a big part in organizations because then they know that, yes, I am also playing an equal role. No matter like if somebody has a C-level role or a frontline engineer, but both roles are equally important. In fact, their role sometimes is more important than your own role.
I love it. Thank you so
And
much.
when that love and affection and that connection is there, when you know not only them but you know their families, you know when their wife or their father got sick, when he got out of that, you know when their babies are born, and you know their babies by their name. That is called like love and respect. So again, love and respect go hand in hand. On the other hand, when there's a fear and somebody is working but on the back of their mind they have like a what if I fail, right? So what if you fail, right? And that's the management's role to kind of like bring that out, like let's get the word fear out. Like what if the fear word is not, it does not even exist in our um, dictionary at in work culture or at home culture when your kids are um, being like brought up, right? What if that the whole in the every situation that people are not afraid of, like if they will fail, if they will do something wrong, if the glass breaks or if the code breaks, right? Then it's a total different game. Then people
Yeah.
are just automatically people are doing wonders.
So
So
well said, Ravi.
yes.
Yeah, if I could just jump in, this connects to me with, I'm a big fan of Amy Edmondson, who's a professor from Harvard, and she's done research on psychological safety. So
Mm-hmm.
what you were just describing, it comes directly in line with her first insight, which is from the medical field and hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
What she found is hospitals where they report more mistakes, not that they have more mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
report more mistakes are more effective. Like all their KPIs, key performing indicators of lives
Yes.
saved, efficiency are
Mm-hmm.
better when they feel safe to report mistakes.
Yes.
So those teams that don't report their mistakes, are hiding them, are not feeling safe,
Mm-hmm.
are in fear of
There are inferiors.
speaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So applying that in the software industry, you were talking about coders, and so if management could create that space where people don't feel fear about naming mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you name it, then you can change it, right?
Yes.
Then you can say, okay, let's figure this out. Let's do it together. Let's solve it.
Yes. No, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So let's go back to thank you for bringing up respect in the India context. I often hear that it starts with the elders. What are the implications of that way of how we've been brought up on how respect shows up in the workplace, India, US in particular?
Yes, so it's still, even though that the times have changed, people are like more open, and they have like now a little bit started calling their seniors by their name, which was before it was always like a sir and ma'am, which still exists there, right? So when you are calling somebody sir because of or ma'am because of their title, not because what they have done for you, is like showing respect, right? And most of the time in Indian cultures, still people don't ask questions. They don't put you on the spot because they have a fear that no, so and so is my senior. I cannot ask this question. I will be offending. So that again, kind of like either out of fear or out of the culturally built system that they have within themselves, that is just like, okay, they will just nod that you have said something, and they will not ask very many challenging questions, even though that I see that they are very bright kids. They are sometimes they know more than anybody else, but they will stay quiet because of the culturally that think that, oh, we need to just out of respect, we don't need to challenge a person. So that is still exists. I would say that only maybe we have taken 20% improvement in that. 80% is still exists there.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I agree. I see it all the time, and we have made a little progress, but not enough.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that 20%, Ruby. What has worked in your shifting this perspective? And let's also keep in mind what you're describing is also the education system, right?
Hmm.
That Indian education system is very academically driven, very, one exam a year, really not asking questions of professors during lectures. Whereas in the US, it's totally the opposite. You're
Hmm.
actually rewarded for being curious, for asking questions,
Yes.
or having different points of view. So let's come back to that 20%. What have you worked with that has what's worked?
Well, it's a again, it's putting an emphasis on that each and every individual is important, is playing an important role, and it's important to the organization, and recognizing the values that they are bringing, recognizing their intelligence, recognizing the how important they are for the organization. And people, when you are spending time with them, they open up,
Yeah.
and then they will call you by the name, then they can share everything with you openly. But it's like you have to put a lot of effort into bringing to that level. Then the in organizations that in US, the cultures from the get-go were built that way, that even a 5-year kid at home will challenge you, and they will ask why on every question, right? They will not be quiet. They will challenge you that, okay, if you're asking me to do things certain way, why do I have to do this way, right? And over here, that we always are cautious about, even with our own kids or teachers in the school, because kids will challenge you. But over there, the culture was built that way, so it's very hard to then do the break-in when you're already 20 years old or 21 years old. So these are the observations I had, that it still needs a lot of work.
Thank you for the honesty about that. I completely agree. I think across the board, not
Hmm.
just in your experience, it needs a lot of work. One thing as we get to the close here that's very tied with this is there's research around making the implied explicit. So that
Hmm.
is another factor with the cultural differences, is a lot of that power differential in respecting elders or senior people without naming it is around the implication that because you're senior, you know more, or I have to be, just automatically respect you. The explicit is where it's earned, and
Hmm.
you bring it out into the surface. And
Yes.
so my suggestion to leaders always is when you model your vulnerability, the things you don't know, you're creating space for your people. That,
Hmm.
okay, if COO is saying she doesn't know, maybe it's okay for me to
Yes.
also express that I don't have an answer right now
Yes.
and I need time to think about it.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
It's
So
always
Ruby,
good
as we
to.
close, sorry, your last tips, please, 1 to 3 things that you would suggest people do to have more respect in the workplace.
Yes. So in I came from Sikh background, right? So I was a Sikh in by birth. In our holy book, which is Guru Granth Sahib, there's a saying, "Manas ki jaat sabbe ek hai pehchan wo." that means that all human beings are equal and we need to respect them equally. So if we kind of like learn that in our company cultures also, that all human beings are equal, I think that that plays a big role in any company cultures, right? Like and that then it leads to that you are remaining humble and you are thankful for each and every individual, what their contributions are and what uniqueness they are bringing to your organization, right? Same way, respecting for others' beliefs. It's not that your own beliefs or your own religion or your own way of doing things is the right way. Understanding that each and every individual, each and every culture, each and every religion always brings something unique for all of us to learn. And if we incorporate that into our ecosystem, and then, and as I began my conversation, that when you are talking about innovation, when you're talking about team building, when you're talking about all of these other things that you want to make it happen, those things start happening automatically.
I love it, Ruby. Thank you so much for going there. I'm a big fan of the values of the Sikh culture. And the other one that is important for our audience, if you don't know it, is service, right? Seva is
Yes.
the word
Yes.
seva, with, offering food to people that, volunteers, lots of volunteers spend their time at any level. CEOs of companies go in and volunteer to serve people. So to
Yes.
me, all of the values you're describing about what you've brought from and how you bring that into your culture are about servant leadership.
Yes.
And that's such an important trait. Thank you so much, Ruby. It's been such a delight to have you.
Thank you. Thank
Wish
you
you,
for having me. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. Have a
thank
great
you
day.
so much.